What if the very first moments of your day, those fleeting seconds when you're hovering between sleep and wakefulness, held a secret power to completely redefine its entire trajectory? Most people stumble into their mornings, reacting to demands. But a select few understand that a new day is a blank canvas, bursting with potential, yet shadowed by uncertainty. What if I told you there's a key, an ancient truth, that can transform that uncertainty into unwavering purpose? We're talking about Jesus, not just as a historical figure, but as your personal guide to righteousness, your daily source of strength. Think about it. What does righteousness even mean in your busy life? Is it just an old-fashioned word, or could it be the missing ingredient you've been searching for? This isn't about a complex theological debate. It's about a profound, practical shift available to you right now. We'll touch on a stunning statement from John 14, verse 6, words that are less a commandment and more an open invitation. This is just the beginning of a journey to discover how these timeless principles can bring astonishing, real-world change. Forget what you think you know. Are you ready to see your mornings and your life in a completely new light? The gap between a mundane, reactive morning and a divinely guided day is smaller than you think. So, if Jesus claims to be the way, the truth, and the life, what does that actually mean for us when our feet hit the floor each morning? Let's unpack this extraordinary claim, the soul path or an open door. Unveiling the mystery of Jesus as the way, John 14, verse 6. Picking up on that extraordinary claim, let's dive in. Jesus states in John 14, verse 6, "I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me." Now, hold on. That sounds incredibly exclusive, doesn't it? Almost challenging. Many argue this very point, claiming it's too narrow for our broad-minded world. But what if this perceived exclusivity is actually the most liberating invitation you'll ever receive? What if it's the secret key to unlocking a reality most people miss? Imagine you're lost in a dense, disorienting forest. Every direction looks the same. Panic starts to set in. Then, through the trees, you spot a single, clearly marked path. Would you complain there's only one? Or would you rush towards it with overwhelming relief? That's the essence here. The way isn't about restriction. It's about divine direction in a world offering countless confusing detours. It's the singular, reliable path to the Father, to ultimate belonging. Then he says he is the truth. Not a truth, but the ultimate, unchanging reality that gives meaning and purpose when everything else feels like shifting sand. In an age of information overload and conflicting narratives, what could be more vital than an anchor for your soul? This isn't just a philosophical concept. It's the bedrock of a stable life. Many search for truth in fleeting trends or popular opinions, but what if the real, enduring truth has a name? And finally, the life. This isn't just about biological existence. It's about a source of vitality, a spiritual energy that sustains you not only now but for eternity. It's a profound spiritual renewal that replaces fear and despair with an unshakable hope and joy. Think about the moments you felt most alive. Could there be a deeper, more constant source? This isn't about just nodding along or making a verbal declaration. Accessing this way, truth, and life requires a personal decision, a heartfelt surrender. It means turning from the things that lead you away from true life and accepting Jesus not just as a good teacher, but as Lord. Some hear surrender and think of loss. But what if this surrender isn't about losing yourself, but about finally finding your true self, breaking the chains of whatever holds you back, and dispelling the lies of the enemy that cloud your vision? This is transformative faith. It's about a radical shift from a life of temporary fixes to one of deep, spiritual renewal. If following this way transforms our inner world, how does it reshape our interactions with the world around us? The answer lies in a love so profound, it was commanded as the cornerstone of existence. The radical blueprint, loving God, loving others, more than just a feeling. Matthew 22, verse 37. That understanding of Jesus as our path, our truth, and our very life then begs the question, How does this profound internal transformation spill over into the world around us? Imagine a love so powerful, so all-consuming, it could completely redefine your entire being, your heart, your soul, your mind. Jesus wasn't just suggesting this as a nice idea. He declared it as a command, a foundational blueprint for a truly fulfilled existence. In Matthew 22, verse 37, he says, "You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind." Let's break that down because this isn't just poetic language. To love the Lord with all your heart means surrendering your deepest desires, your will, aligning them completely with His. It's about cherishing Him above everything else, above material possessions, career ambitions, even above our most treasured human relationships. Does that sound extreme? Perhaps. But what if that extreme is where true freedom lies? Then, with all your soul, this means offering your entire being, every fiber of who you are, in worship and active obedience. It's not about Sunday-only service. It's about living every moment in a way that reflects His character and brings glory to His name. Your actions, your choices, your very presence becomes an act of devotion. How different would your daily interactions be if this was your conscious aim? And with all your mind, this is a call to fill your thoughts with His Word, to meditate on His promises, and critically, to actively reject the lies and distractions the world constantly throws at you. It's about intellectual engagement, yes, but it's far more than that. It's about a total devotion, making God your absolute greatest priority, your deepest, most consuming love. This isn't some passive, wishy-washy feeling. It's an active, transformative force. Consider someone whose life was once driven by accumulation and status. Suddenly, an encounter with this love shifts their entire focus. Their priorities dramatically change. Their time, resources, and energy are now redirected towards something eternal. This act of faith, this total devotion, then seamlessly flows into the second, inseparable commandment Jesus gave. You shall love your neighbor as yourself. You see, if you truly love God with everything you are, that love must overflow. It's not an option, it's a consequence. It will compel you to treat others with their radical kindness, a shocking compassion, and a forgiveness that defies human logic. It will challenge you, sometimes uncomfortably, to put others' needs ahead of your own, to see people not as categories or competitors, but through the eyes of Christ. This isn't about a checklist of good deeds. It's about a radically transformed character, shaping how you live, how you think, and how you interact with every single person. But what happens when this path of love encounters life's inevitable storms, fear, doubt, and the overwhelming sense that we're just not strong enough? Is there a hidden wellspring of strength for these moments? When storms rage, finding unshakable strength and true wisdom, Isaiah 41 verse 10, Psalm 23 verse 3, Proverbs 9 verse 10. Living a life of radical love is a beautiful ideal, but let's be honest. Life throws punches. Fear whispers, you're alone. Doubt screams, you'll fail. The path ahead vanishes into fog. What then? Is there a promise more powerful than any fear? Absolutely. Isaiah 41 verse 10 isn't just an ancient text, it's a lifeline. Fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you, I will help you, I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. Can you feel the certainty in those words? God's presence isn't a vague hope, it's a fortress, an unbreachable shield when anxiety and uncertainty try to overwhelm your mind. Think of King David, a warrior, a leader, yet so often caught in life's tempests. What was his secret? He knew where to find his anchor. Psalm 23 verse 3 echoes this deep trust. He restores my soul. He leads me in paths of righteousness for His name's sake. This isn't about a life free from trouble. It's about restoration within the trouble. It's about divine guidance onto paths of righteousness, even when every other trail seems to lead to a dead end. Jesus becomes that anchor holding you steady, the unwavering light when the way forward is utterly obscured. Have you ever felt so lost that any direction seemed pointless? That's when this promise of divine guidance truly ignites. Now, here's something most people misunderstand, a hidden key to unlocking an entirely different level of clarity: the fear of the Lord. Proverbs 9 verse 10 states, "The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the Holy One is understanding." Many hear fear and think of terror, of cowering. But what if this fear is actually a profound, reverent awe? A complete reordering of your priorities, placing God's will so far above your own that your entire perspective shifts. When you hold Him in that kind of awe, something incredible happens. You begin to see the world through His eyes. You gain an insight, a divine perspective, a deeper understanding of His incredible plans for your life that worldly wisdom could never offer. The overwhelming nature of life's trial starts to shrink in comparison to the quiet, steady assurance of His presence and guidance. It's a radical shift, isn't it? And here's the kicker. His way, this divine leading, is always the right way, even when it feels difficult or completely counterintuitive to everything your logic screams. Knowing God walks with us is comforting, but how do we actively engage this divine partnership, especially when our own faith feels fragile? Could something as small as a tiny seed hold the secret to unlocking that power? The unseen force, from mustard seed faith to mountain-moving power. Matthew 17 verse 20, Job 13 verses 15, and 1 John 4 verse 4. Armed with the knowledge of God's guiding presence and His profound wisdom, we now turn to the active principle that truly ignites these truths in our daily lives: faith. But what if your faith feels, well, small? What if the greatest power you could ever wield fits into the palm of your hand, unseen, almost insignificant, like a single mustard seed? Jesus, in Matthew 17 verse 20, delivers a bombshell. If you have faith even as small as a mustard seed, you can tell a mountain to move, and it will move. Nothing will be impossible for you. Pause and think about that. A mustard seed, tiny, often overlooked. Yet, when planted, it grows into a mighty tree. This isn't just a quaint agricultural analogy, it's a spiritual explosive. What mountains are you facing right now? Mountains of doubt, fear, relational conflict, or overwhelming circumstances? Are you underestimating the atomic power packed into even your most fragile faith when it's genuinely placed in God's hands? He doesn't ask for colossal, perfect faith. He asks for seed, your seed, planted. The real challenge often isn't the size of our faith, but the consistency of it, especially when life deals devastating blows. Consider Job, a man who lost everything: his wealth, his children, his health. In the face of unimaginable pain and loss, Job declared in Job 13 verse 15, "Though he slay me, yet will I trust in him." That's unwavering faith. A faith that trusts completely, even when answers are absent, when God feels distant, when every fiber of your being screams in protest. It's a faith that holds fast to God's promises, knowing He is always in control and His love never fails, even if it means your strength is perfected in utter weakness. This is the kind of radical trust that transforms prayer from a wish list into a profound alignment of our hearts with His. It's an invitation for Him to work, not a list of demands for Him to follow. How many of us truly pray with that level of surrender, inviting His will, not just begging for ours? And here's the climax, the ultimate, game-changing assurance. 1 John 4 verse 4 declares, "He who is in you is greater than he who is in the world." Let that sink in. The Spirit of God residing within you is infinitely more powerful than any trial, any enemy, any worldly force that comes against you. This isn't just a nice thought, it's the believer's unbreakable reality. This indwelling power is your constant source of strength, your guarantee of victory, your reason for unspeakable joy. Understanding this incredible power within and the path laid before us, how do we now step forward, not just for today, but for all our days, with renewed purpose and unshakable conviction? your day His way, stepping forward in renewed faith. With this incredible understanding of the immense power and love available through faith in Jesus Christ, we arrive at the most important question: what now? The sun is up, the day awaits, but it doesn't have to be just another 24 hours. We've journeyed through some profound truths: Jesus as the exclusive, liberating way, the radical call to love God and others with our entire being, the unwavering promise of His strength in our storms, and the astonishing power of even mustard seed faith. These aren't just concepts to be filed away. They are invitations to live a life under God's guidance, filled with His strength and righteousness. So, don't let these truths remain mere words on a page or screen. This is your moment. Choose one promise, one specific insight that resonated deep within you from our journey today. Just one. Now carry it. Carry it into your interactions at work or home, into the challenges that might be looming, into your quiet moments of reflection. For the next 24 hours, make a conscious effort to actively look for Jesus, your way, your truth, your life, in the small, everyday details. You might be amazed at what you find. And then, consider this. What if you shared not just what you read here, but what you experienced by putting it into practice? How will you let Him lead you, starting right now, in this new day? May the grace and peace of our Lord Jesus Christ be with you, always.